Welcome to Roundtable Ops in Motion, where marketing, sales, and RevOps leader break down the systems, strategies, and data shaping modern GTM operations. Each episode brings you actionable insights, practical frameworks, and emerging trends, helping B2B teams stay aligned, efficient, and scalable. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the next episode of our Roundtable series, Ops in Motion. I'm Kawal. Today's conversation will be focused on B2B marketing with topics related to marketing operation, as well as the growing importance of community building within the marketing operation system. We have Jen Bergen here. She has like 2 decades of B2B marketing advertising experience, and she's currently involved in many activities. She designs educational programs for companies, focusing on creating content for learning and development, education, and enablement of many of our marketers. She also runs an amazing newsletter program. She highlights the weekly topic that helps most of us to stay updated, like what's happening on the social channel and what are the topics around that should be aware of. And I think this newsletter has been consumed by many marketing and sales professionals. And beyond that, I see she's like active and value member within the marketing operation community. So Jen, good morning, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me to the podcast, inviting me here. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction as well.
Of course. Do you want to add something about yourself?
I think you did a great job introducing all the many different but related things that I do around operations, education, sharing information, trying to elevate and help other ops and marketing and sales and all the related professions. I guess I live in San Diego, California in the US, not Paris. I wish. I would say maybe a common theme of the educational content I create is about human-centered operations. So it's more like centering on people and process before tech. As you probably have seen, just buying software by itself is rarely going to solve a problem. So I try to bring attention to the other side of ops.
Yeah, I find it really valuable going through all of those educational content that you create. So Jen, since you've spent your career across, different industries like advertising, all of these are related. They are just the different processes within marketing. So you have advertising, creativity, and marketing, which are all like connected, of course. But there's still some, here and there are some differences in the way we do things there. It differs, right? So as you move into like more specialized industry and stream over time, how have you seen the shift been? How your work has been, shifted from when you move from one process to another, or what is the change that you've seen? And also like some things have stayed the same.
I think it's easier to look back on it and see all the common threads. I know if anyone looked at my experience on LinkedIn, it looks like a bunch of wide variety of different things, different jobs, different industries, different sizes of companies. Even the short answer for all of that is like, I love learning, I love doing new things. And that common thread has been like the operations focused work in all of those jobs. Even though they look creative on the outside, the day-to-day work of the jobs that I chose were more operations focused. For example, I would say my first career was in print graphic design, including a daily newspaper, a weekly magazine, a weekly circular coupon insert at a big retail company. It was all like fast-paced, high-volume work that had deadlines and mailing subscriptions, and required a lot of project management and creating and using templates and other tool efficiencies. I think my first 3 jobs I was thinking back on this, they had a software migration from Quark to InDesign, like the major day-to-day software that was used, and streamlining approval process, quick problem solving. So looking back on it, there's a lot of ops for somebody with an art degree. So those skills translate. And then I was directing photo shoots at those jobs that made me interested in photography. So second career was photography, art business. As you know, from founding a business, that involves creating a lot of processes and running everything.
You're like doing everything, right? On your own.
Yes, it had to be efficient as one person. Yeah, I really liked learning about business and marketing, because those are things I never thought of before. So then I went back to school to get an MBA to learn more about business of, companies that are larger than one person. So I would get some experience there as well. I really liked marketing. I thought maybe my third career was marketing, sort of, for a little bit, but then I started working at Remotish, which was a HubSpot operations agency right when they started. So I helped build the business, build the operations foundation, looking back on it. And then I learned about this word called operations operations. And I'm like, hey, this is really what I've been doing the whole time. I just didn't know the word.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that happened with many of us. I think we all worked in that. Like we worked on some part of marketing operation, but we never knew like, okay, this is like it falls under the umbrella of marketing operations, right? In the beginning. So later we got to know, okay, this is connected to this. Yeah.
Yeah. And then just a few years ago, I left the agency to like help more people faster. I guess one of our favorite words is scale, to scale my efforts, helping operations people across many different companies. And I've been diving deeper into instructional design to help create better education. I just finished a master's in that. I think one more thing I wanted to mention about all those career changes, besides my interest in learning that I love, is that technology has disrupted a lot of those careers as well at a faster and faster pace, like design and photography and marketing now. So I know that's going to keep happening.
Yes.
And I know that's related to a later topic, but I would love to hear about your career journey as my spying in LinkedIn of your career, Kawal. You've worked with large companies and then co-founded a marketing operations agency. Tell me about your journey.
Sure. I mean, it's been always nice to work with different organizations, like on the corporate side. And it has been an interesting transition because I was there working with these organizations, and they actually taught me like operations at scale. So there were very complex processes, multiple stakeholders, and the importance of alignment. Most of the stakeholders have different opinions. The processes are really different. So you need to get those tools, people, processes, strategy, technology, everything together. So it was kind of a lot of learning, I would say, and I really enjoyed doing that. The experience is really great. And I still remember those experiences when we had a new tool bought up and we had to set it up. So we had Marketo when Marketo was launched. After a couple of years, we got it into the organization and we had to set it up. So there were stakeholders in different parts of the world, and every region has their own requirement. And there's a global team. So I was part of the global team. So I had to, talk to all the regions and understand like what they would like to do, because nobody wants a change. Change is not easy. Nobody wants to adapt it. And there's a tool coming in. There's a new people who are coming into the system. All this while region was managing on their own. It's very tough for them to say, okay, yes, we will take it. No, we do not do it like this. We want it like this. We want it like that. So it was very difficult, but there was a lot of learning, and I really enjoyed doing that. And I mean, at the beginning, there were no clarity about like who's going to own what process and how we're going to move forward with this and all that. But over the period of time, with a lot of discussions and getting those things in place, preparing a lot of documents, it actually helps getting in that space where you have different owners for different processes. And again, coming to co-founding a marketing agency, I think that was a big shift because here you're responsible for everything, like end to end. You're the one working, you're the one executing, you're the one sometimes delivering, you're the one talking to the client and all of that. In the beginning, it was just a chaos, I would say, because you're like managing one part of thing on one side of the, it's like a river, you're on the other side of it, and you really enjoy and see that, okay, wow, it's so nice to found a company and start your own business and do things. But then when you come to this side, you have so many things to manage. You'll be like the one designing the system. You're the one strategizing it. You're the one like answering those questions. This is right. This is not right. There's a lot of learning lessons, but then a lot of things to juggle around. And there are a lot of chances to have those mistakes, and you learn from those mistakes. My perspective really changed in this shift. And I think in-house, when I was working with those organizations, it was like working on, few processes and few things that I have to deal with. It was a little easier to manage, but then there's a lot of challenges when you're working as a founder, and I really enjoy learning those tools and technologies and everything that come your way, the clarity, the alignment, and the things that you have to make to do your work and get those things aligned together and support the team every day. So I really love that. And of course, meeting with different clients and getting and working with different sorts of clients. So that's really interesting. Yes, we have, founded these companies and we're working with different clients. But the other thing I see, and we keep talking about it, right? Like, what is the evolution of AI in marketing and RevOps? Like, how is it going to add value? People just keep asking themselves, or they keep asking in the social forums, or if there are like some meetings or events. We are so curious, right? We have started
using AI and we have adopted it into our processes, but we still, think like, how can AI make our life even better? So what do you think about it, Jen?
First, I will just say I don't usually talk about AI, but I did a previous questions and I answered your recent survey about how AI will shape B2B marketing. I'll make an exception for you because I wanted to add some human-centered perspective to these AI predictions. Okay. Coincidentally, the same week I think you published your survey results. I was asked a similar question at the marketing ops event in person here in San Diego. So
okay, nice.
I'm like, I kind of have an answer. It's like the hope is that AI takes on some of that boring, repetitive work or the complex technical work to reduce the human error. And in theory, that will free up operations people's time to do more strategic work, to do higher value work that achieves business goals. So I guess that freeing up of that time might be where AI can add value eventually. If ops people are going to be doing this more strategic, impactful work, that means that communication and change management are going to be even more important for ops people to master. They're that glue in between all departments. They're the people overseeing the architecting of the human work and the AI work together. Like aligning that is a new layer of alignment, and change is going to keep happening faster and faster, as we talked about earlier. I think one more note I wanted to add is the value of AI is not in content creation or slop work or spamming people better. Creating more bad content faster is not adding value to the business. But I was listening to your other podcast episodes and I heard you had a great answer on, I think, Moni's episode about AI amplifying the mess if data and process are a mess. But you probably see more firsthand in your agency the use of AI as opposed to my secondhand knowledge reading in theory. But where are you seeing AI add value in reality?
So, AI can help you surface some of the patterns, like if you're working with a client and you're into their marketing operation systems. So if you have to do some kind of analysis, the ground level analysis for you to prepare that report for the leadership team, I feel that it can give you the reports like, if the funnel is leaking, if there are processes or the data is not, syncing well from one tool to another. So those kind of things can be really, highlighted by the AI, and some of the groundwork on terms of, having the framework for the content, and then maybe build upon that and use that in a way that you resonate with the audiences that you're sharing with. Of course, you cannot have the things just given by AI and put it across. No, it just can give you some guidelines in terms of it saves your time, because if you start from scratch, you have to just think of everything and build upon that. So it can give you like 4 bullet points and you can add them, or make it a comprehensive doc, or you can just turn that into paragraphs of like 4 to 5 and maybe add more value to it. So I see the value in like how it summarizes and flag issues early on, so then there's an opportunity for us build on that foundation and make those things better, and so that in the long term we do not run into those issues. And the manual work that it takes off our plate, that's really good, because it really saves some amount of time. I wouldn't say that you can rely just on AI, but then it can do some work for you in the beginning and you can just build up on that. So be it like content, or be it like understanding how the system is working, or if there are like analysis that you have to do where you do not need somebody to just go and do deeper analysis, but just point out things which is like could be broken, can be broken in future, or it's already broken. Those things can be highlighted. So that can help making a better decision by the business, by the leaders.
It's great to hear you're getting value. Those seem like good uses.
So, we all agree that there's enough, with AI and all of, technology and systems that we are trying to build and all of those things that we keep doing every day to make marketing operation great. So we know that there's a lot of difference between the quality education programs, the training, and especially marketing operation. You do not find the kind of document, the kind of training materials that you should get to, so that you understand the process better and you do well in working on them practically, right? Thanks to you and some of the other folks also who are trying to create this documentation. But then, to be honest, there's a lot of difference all this while, right? There are like documents. I mean, I liked your document, but there are so many processes, so many things to talk about. And when you go and browse anything on internet, you find things which are like either very technical or they're like only on the surface. You do not find the things that you need to know for you to be good at that process, maybe have confidence and start doing that. That's the gap that I see between the practicality and the education or documents that's available. So what is your overall assessment about that? And how do you think that, you are already doing some education programs. So how do you think that, having more of those education programs can really help people in this space?
Great question. Great question. Thank you. I think my overall assessment of the state of operations training and education is that like university level education is still few and far between. Classes about digital operations, not just like that one manufacturing and supply chain class that we have in MBAs.
Yes.
Thankfully, I've been seeing like communities, operations communities trying to fill that gap of formal education, creating excellent operations education. It's great to see. Gives more options, more visibility to operations people and to operations as a career. So more people choose it intentionally instead of falling into it. Yay. I think my hope for my education that I create is that it brings visibility to operations, that's a career path people can follow. And some of the education I create, like the RevOps Boot Camp, is free. So that's accessible to people earlier in their career to explore, or people changing careers, curious people. We don't talk about HubSpot software. It's just about the RevOps foundations of process mapping, project planning, strategy, prioritizing, handling requests, things useful for any job really, but super important for ops roles. The documenting classes. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Right now, I also offer documenting classes about process documentation because I saw a gap of operations topics, I think, which you mentioned, that things that are not software related are a gap. Classes that are not sponsored by software companies, not how to use XYZ type of software. I saw that was something that was needed, was something that wasn't that, because software changes every day, but the skills I like to teach are more evergreen or not going to be obsolete anytime soon. So that I do want to get into making more digital operations classes, maybe for universities in the future, as a future goal of mine, to give people exposure.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, giving people exposure to operations earlier in their lives, even if they don't go into operations, they maybe see the value of operations. So when they become a leader, maybe in a different department, they'll know, hi, operations isn't just software admin or supply chain. And that is a big goal. But since you may hire young professionals at your agency, you might have more direct experience about, I think you talked a little bit about the current state of marketing operations education leading up to this question, but is there anything you would like to add?
Yeah, sure. So what I've seen is you have interns. We also hire interns, and we also hire marketing operation professionals, the experienced professionals. So there's a huge difference and a gap because interns, they don't even know what is marketing operations, to be honest. So they had to be taught, like they would think marketing, okay, marketing is like SEO, SEM, and those advertisements, that's it. They do not know. Yes, they do not know about marketing operations. So you have to start from those definitions of marketing operation, like what it does, what it is, strategies, the skills that you need to have. And they really need to understand, like, why are we doing attribution? What is the value that's going to add? And why are we scoring a lead? What are we going to do with the scoring? Like how important it is, and what decision making can we do with that? And then, of course, there are different tools. So right now there are so many tools, like, okay, for intern, it's very difficult to pick and choose like which one which direction they want to go with, like, because there are so many paths in marketing operations itself, right? And there are so many tools. And to be honest, like if you have those interns joining your organization, it's very difficult because they do not have any idea about the tool, and there are no documents or not a good library is available for these tools. I mean, HubSpot has it, but it's like very generic, very small, like overview kind of thing. And then if somebody has to understand in detail and connect those dots between process, tech, strategy, business, and all of that, it's like too difficult for an intern. So you have to start with those classes with them to give them the basic of what is a strategy and how do you align that with the business, and what does marketing operation fits into, and what marketing operation does, what are the different things in that, and blah blah. Still, you have so many tools that comes in picture later later on. So yes, so I feel there should be, the tools, maybe what they can do is they can have more of those tutorials or these knowledge guides online so that anyone who would like to learn these tools can quickly go and start, learning more about it, even though they may not have an access to log in because you need to pay for it, right? So not everyone can just pay it from their pocket and then start learning. So there has to be, this gap has to be met. If not in detail, at least they can get this basic credentials or access to learn couple of things or just start with something. So that skill has to be, these things has to be developed, I think.
I agree. It should be more free learning for at least like that first step of tool for that intern entry level.
Yeah. Because I remember when I was working on these organizations, as I mentioned, there used to be some new joinees and I have done some of the trainings with them at that point of time. So it was like starting from the scratch, the groundwork, and they really had no clue about it. And even now I do that. So till today, it's not a lot of change. At least people know some of the tool names, which are like most randomly spoken about, but then still there's a lot of difference. Still a lot of education that has to be brought up to professionals to get up to speed to know about these tools and all that. Yeah. So, Jen, we talk about so many topics and, we feel that marketing operation is a nice profession. I think so. And we spoke about different processes, different tools, and how people can fit into it and all that. So what do you think, and this is my favorite question, for all the episodes I've asked most of my guests, like how has marketing operation evolved over the time? And what do you feel like are the long-term career options in this space?
All right, this is a great question. I'm not sure I can super answer this. I know like the marketing apps community has reports about the state of marketing apps.
Oh, yeah.
I think one thing to keep in mind for reading those surveys is that the participants that answering the survey are the members who are working in marketing ops. They're not like the general public. So I'm not sure if anyone listening has a resource that's like, what does the general public know about marketing ops or RevOps? That would be awesome. I'm not sure how you would like pick those participants of the survey to know, like, how would you get those people? As someone who just ran a big research experiment for the degree I just finished, but I'm getting off topic. My point there was like 99% of the world probably doesn't know what marketing ops and RevOps is. I know if you go on LinkedIn, it's like an echo chamber and everybody knows, but remember, the LinkedIn algorithm is not the general public. So getting back, I know I'm rambling now about research, but the evolution is something I've been thinking about because I've been writing a book very slowly about what is RevOps for the past couple of years. I've been very slow, but still a relevant question, thankfully. But I've been comparing my research from a few years ago to now, and the fundamentals and foundations of the work are the same. I would say maybe even more important now because they can get lost in all the shiny new object distractions of software changes every day. Because that is a real challenge of people trying to keep up with all the software challenge, the stress and the feeling of the urgency. That can make those fundamentals like communication less exciting or seem less like a priority compared to like the executive team asking you to use AI without giving any direction or strategy or budget. But change is a constant. I think that's the evolution. But I will go back into hopefully marketing operations and other kinds of operations will start to get more recognition and respect within companies and industries and the general public, and more companies realize they need it and are hiring more for it, hiring enough headcount for ops to be done well. That's probably hard to prove, but again, if anyone watching this has seen studies of the general population perceptions of operations, I would love to see that. And you had a second part of the question on career options, was that right?
Yes, it was on career options.
I haven't done research on it recently, but I feel like I've been at least seeing higher level titles for operations, like more vice presidents, at least people announcing their roles for the new year on LinkedIn, for example. Again, it might just be what LinkedIn is showing me for my algorithm. It might not be a trend, but
that's fine.
Hopeful. I think chief operating officer or chief of staff could be like the higher level operations types of career paths, depending on company size. I think a great career path, I see more operations people doing fractional work, not just as consulting, but also educators. So that's super exciting to see people offering classes on their own, other content, sharing their knowledge. Yay. I've heard, you might know more about this. I've heard some companies, usually larger companies, have like an individual contributor career path. So people can keep doing the type of work they like to do without managing people. Is that something you see more of, less of?
Yes.
What have you seen?
Yeah, I have seen that as well, because there are people who are individual contributors and they work on this a little more than people who are part of these big enterprise organizations also. And the fractional roles are really being very, very known, and I'm seeing a lot of people becoming fractional CMO, or they would be like fractional marketing operations, or, there are a lot of fractional role that's coming up. And consultants were always there, but this is also an emerging one. And I feel that marketing operation is like, something which is part of marketing, and we are taking care of the tech stack, which is part of marketing. And I think people are learning more and more about it, and the technology that comes into play in marketing operation, I think keeps all of us exciting. And maybe whoever loves technology or who loves to align things and strategize things and have those processes, data, and things together, I think they would love the career path. And to be honest, I think a lot of career options, I feel, is there. But that's I'm not done any research on that. What I've seen is around me, what's happening, and of course, LinkedIn and whatever client I spoke to or whomever I interact with. From these experiences, I've been observed that. Yeah. So this is my observation on career path on RevOps and marketing ops. And evolution, of course, has been there. There's a lot of evolution that has happened because we started off with the email campaigns, right? So there were a lot of focus on email campaigns, scoring and all of that. But now we have shifted with a lot of tech savvy things that's happening. We are trying to do, there are a lot of notifications are sent in a different way. So you have like Slack notification. Before you used to wait for email notification to come to our inboxes, and then somebody would take an action on that. Okay, this task is assigned to me. I need to work on that. But right now what happens is it goes into Slack like in a second or in 5 seconds. And you just get the notification, sales rep get to know, okay, this is the one, this is the lead I can just go and talk to. So they are quickly get on a call with them, they start chatting with them. So the turnaround time or lead response time has really reduced. So there are a lot of changes that has happened over the period of time with these technologies and tools and things that are happening around in this space. I feel it will evolve more because we will have these change happening over the period of time with so many things in there.
I think that's a great point about increased number of channels to reach the customer to manage, and not just increased software. So thank you for bringing that up.
Sure, of course. I really loved our conversation today. It was really nice chatting about so many things around marketing operations space and things that are happening, things that are evolving, and I'm happy to be part of it.
Thank you so much for having me to the podcast.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for joining us today. It was really nice talking to you.